Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, the Super Bowl was this past Sunday, as John Smith puts his head down. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they did win. I believe it was their second Super Bowl all time. Whereas the graphic here, Triple H, of course, tweeted out he sent the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the Super Bowl championship belt, and I like the bottom line right here. Rob Gronkowski will know what to do with it, being a former 24/7 champion, which is awesome. But a fun little fact right here, two things, of course, as we all know now, Tom Brady is now 9 championships behind Ric Flair, so the count's still going with that. I know Tom Brady has that in his sights. But a fun little fact about the Super Bowl that I wasn't aware about, the halftime show used to be played before the game started. But it was moved to halftime so the name would make more sense.
Really?
It is Tuesday at 6 o'clock. You know what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. This is our 40th episode. Do we look 40? Like, I feel old all of a sudden. Do we call it 3010? Do we start going back down to zero? Like, is next episode 39 again? Like, do we go backwards here? What do we do? I don't want to be 40. Too bad I'm already 41, but I guess whatever. On today's episode, actually, before we get to that, I apologize. Let's introduce our cast of characters here. Right below me is the first ever PWG champion, the living legend, John Dakani. John, how are you today, pal?
Good to be back. Good to have you back. Gonna be a fun show.
Yeah, I took a little week hiatus. I was too busy, working for the man. So, John Smith, how did everything go while I was gone? Ryan did a good job. I did notice something that Ryan did do to improve ratings while I was gone. He had Gary on for the whole first segment. I believe that was a very smart move.
Yeah, and he also didn't mention Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been avoiding sports radio and all sports TV for the past 2 days. I haven't heard a thing about it, and then I gotta hear it from you.
There you go.
On a wrestling podcast.
I know. He will always. I know he's not my quarterback right now, but he will always be my quarterback. Rob Gronkowski will always be my tight end. Ryan Joy, did you happen to watch the game? Did you do anything? I heard you got chewed out a little bit Monday morning.
Yeah, I watched a few quarters of the game. I think I watched through the third quarter. Then I turned it off because I realized I wasn't going to win any of my squares, and I wasn't going to, the game was over basically. So, yes, I got chewed out Monday morning. Boy, Johnny Walker told me to wear some makeup and some other things on the Daily Wrestling News Show. It was bad. My favorite part about today so far, I think, is that John Smith and John Dakani are both wearing Raw is War merchandise, it looks like.
Well, there you go. It was a fun episode of Raw last night. We will get into that. That is on our docket. On today's show, Edge and Bianca Belair are they're making their rounds in WWE, scouting out all the champions. I think that's a little fun thing to do. That's different. I enjoyed that. The Bullet Club with a big win last Wednesday did a surprise attack from overseas on Jon Moxley. We didn't see that one coming. Gary Mehaffy is back with us, as always, to discuss Jordan Devlin's open challenge from NXT UK. Ryan Joy, as you see, is on screen right now. He's going to join us a little bit later. New Japan has a couple big shows coming up before their the New Beginning is the big show, right?
Yeah, this is the New Beginning. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to reveal number 8 on my top 30 favorite all-time WrestleMania matches. So we are 8 segments away. So that means we're 10 weeks away. Now they kind of screwed it up when they rescheduled it, so I'm a little off keel. But I'm just going to keep going, keep rolling with it. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the show to hear the details on how to win the Jim the Anvil Neidhart autograph picture. We are so close to 200 subscribers. It is courtesy of Sideline Sports and WWE Memorabilia. Please make sure you stay tuned to the end of the show for details on how to win that. We're going to be making our picks for this week's upcoming shows. which you'll see graphics and statistics presented by minutestobelltime.com. And of course, when we make their picks, they're always, every episode, 40th time now, sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And guys, she'll like it too. Speaking of Nugenix Total T, how about Doug Flutie last week? It works, ladies and gentlemen. The man-boosting formula in Nugenix Total T. It works. Oh my God, if that doesn't sell more bottles of that stuff, I do not know what will. I believe Doug Flutie became the 46th ever 24/7 champion. That title is young history, so we're rolling up on 50 already. My money is on the Easter Bunny. He's the only character. Santa Claus has been champion. I do believe the Gobbledygooker for Thanksgiving was champion. It's time for the Easter Bunny to step up. But the last time we saw the Easter Bunny, Kane didn't really do him any favors now, did he? We're going to main event the show with making our picks for the matches announced so far for No Surrender and for NXT TakeOver's Vengeance Day. But we're going to curtain jerk the show real quick. I was not around last week, as I'm sure everybody saw for those who were watching. Just want to put a little bit of a bow on the Royal Rumble. The only way I figured I could. And that's just updating everybody with the statistics and the numbers of what happened. I'm not going to sit here. I know everybody discussed it on this show and every show imaginable about the wins and who did what and whatnot. So I'll spare you that. I'll just give you the records and stuff that was done. On the women's side, for the Women's Royal Rumble, the most appearances all time, we had 10 going into this. We are now down to 7. There's now 7 women who have competed in all 4 of the Women's Royals Rumbles. Sarah Logan, who actually just gave birth today. We're going to mention her in a little bit. Congratulations to them. Sarah Logan, Kairi Sane, and Sonya Deville. They were the 3 that were on this list that did not enter. So like I said, we are now down to 7. As announced on the show after Bianca Belair won the Royal Rumble, she broke Natalia's record. I have her clocked in. I do the clock. I start the clock at the buzzer. So it'll give her a couple extra seconds. If you go on Wikipedia, it'll be a little bit less than this. But I got her at 57 minutes, 12 seconds. And that is the new record. She bumped herself off. She was actually, she is right under Charlotte right there on the bottom. I think the 30-minute mark. These are the top 5 best by far. So women's eliminations in a single Royal Rumble match, as I'm sure was mentioned last week. Rhea Ripley knocked out 7. Shayna Baszler threw out 6. So that is where they landed on the top 5 list. Bianca Belair and Shayna both still have the record at 8 from the previous year. With the all-time eliminations, Shayna Baszler took over the lead. Like I said, she had 8 last year. She had 6 this year. If I did my math correctly, that is 14. Bianca Belair, she chimed in with 4 to put her at 12. Rhea Ripley 7 put her at 10 on the bottom list. Charlotte only had 1. She eliminated Peyton Royce, so she didn't. She was the leader going into this. She kind of tripped over herself. She had a nice number. She drew number 15. Only eliminated 1 person. Most Final Fours in history. Charlotte was out there again, but Natalya was out there again as well. So now they are alone as the only 2 female wrestlers who have more than 1 Final Four appearance. Like I said, it's 2 years in a row now that both Charlotte Flair and Natalya have been there at the end. And then, of course, on the wins list, Bianca Belair joins the elite company of Asuka, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair as the winners. With the men's side, men's appearances, as Michael Cole tried to put out there, Dolph Ziggler, he entered. That was his 14th. He's now all alone in second place behind Kane, who came up out of nowhere. I guess he took a plane out of whatever Tennessee town. He's not Knoxville. But,
It is.
Knoxville. All right. So, yeah, Ziggler is now alone in second. Randy Orton, The Miz, and Rey Mysterio, they all entered, and they all jumped up on the list as well. As far as the men's duration, I know Edge and Randy Orton, they went coast to coast. I had them clocked in at 58 minutes, 26 seconds. That does not land them in the top 5. Or the top 6 or 7, I only mentioned the ones that went over an hour. They came up a minute and 30 seconds short. They did actually end up in 9th place overall in history And they are the longest number one, number two entrant combo in history, the longest. They outlasted Steve Austin and Vince McMahon from 1999, who were in there for 56 minutes, 36 seconds. And I know Michaels and Bulldog are the other combination. Now there's three in history. Michaels and Bulldog, they went coast to coast, but they were minute intervals. They only lasted, I think it was like 33 minutes and something. So that was that. The men's single elimination Royal Rumble, most eliminations in a single Royal Rumble. They didn't even come close. Big E and Damian Priest had 4. They need the record to make the list is 8, so nobody came close on that one. But Braun Strowman, all-time limb, there it is. Braun Strowman got 3, and that puts him all alone in 5th all-time in Royal Rumble history. In all-time eliminations, he passed Triple H, Roman Reigns, and The Big Show. And then Kane, like I said, Kane chimed in out of nowhere. He threw out 2 more as well to extend his record to 46. And I do believe it is like 44 as the Kane character. I did include the fake Diesel and the evil dentist in that. Final 4s in Royal Rumble history. Randy Orton, he extended his lead. Now he is up to 8. Edge with the final 4. That puts him tied for 4th with a slew of people that are actually also on this list. Now, I know we thought that Sheamus was the big one that was going to be the one to enter this list. And it was not Sheamus, it was Edge. Edge was the one that is now on this illustrious list of 2-time Royal Rumble winners. So that is a pretty cool thing on his part. Gentlemen, before we move forward, does anybody, John DeConnie, I'll start with you first because I know every time I say and nobody says anything. John DeConnie, any last thing you want to say about the numbers? Any last thing you want to say about the Royal Rumble before we move forward?
I think we've gotten pretty much a bow put on it with all those statistics, which you suffer and slave over. And tip of the cap to you, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate that. These are all numbers I do actually have on ProWrestlingPick'em.com on my resource site. So if anyone wants to do research on any of this stuff, I actually have a small little section. It's got Royal Rumble numbers, all the WrestleMania numbers in the world that you want to do. NXT Takeover, I do NXT Takeover UK. I got some fun stuff. Ryan, anything else from your end?
Yeah, no. You notice I'm holding a pen here. I had been checking your math because you sounded a little unsure about the Shayna Baszler thing. I did confirm while you were talking that 8 + 6 is in fact 14. So you're good.
Okay, good. I had 13. I didn't have a calculator on me. John Smith, anything from your end?
I got 2 little things. One, somebody called that Shayna Baszler wasn't going to throw out a single person this year. I forget who it was. I think it might have been you, actually.
Might have been.
And number 2,
I had her for the Squadouche, and she proved me wrong.
Yeah, and number 2, Sheamus definitely should have won this freaking Rumble because they're doing exactly what I said they should have done after he won the Rumble, but without him winning the Rumble. He's going after Drew. So I am still a genius.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's the thing. And then John DeConnie, we're gonna explain why we're geniuses when we talk about the AEW, the Battle Royal that's coming up. But John DeConnie, shout out to you. I know you wanted to put Lana in your final 4. You held back and I wish there was a 5th place to put her in. And that is exactly where she ended up. So, John DeConnie, good call by you calling Lana in 5th. So, we are going to switch gears now. The Royal Rumble, the bow is on it. We are done. Ryan Joy, we're going to switch gears while you're on screen right now to AEW Beach Break last Wednesday. As our senior AEW correspondent, there was a huge interpromotional 6-man tag. It was interpromotional because the Good Brothers were involved. They got the Good Brothers got the win here. They got the win for the Team Bolt Club.
Yeah, this was a really solid showing for Rey Fenix. I think a lot of people, no matter who you ask about this match, they're going to tell you that Rey Fenix looked awesome in this. His body control, his movements, the things he can jump around and do, run the ropes. If you haven't seen Rey Fenix work, he's amazing, and this match showed it. In the end, though, he ate a magic killer and lost the match for his team. But that was a minor blip in the overall story of the match because following the match, the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega tried to continue their beatdown until Lance Archer made a save. But that didn't help because then Kenta rolled out and he made a surprise appearance coming over from New Japan, opening the Forbidden Portal. Now we have New Japan athlete on AEW, and that leads right into the main event that's going to be this week, Al, which I assume that's probably where you're going here before long.
Yeah, so we'll just get right into it then. Yeah, because the main event this week going in, there's actually 2 matches that stemmed off this. The first one, he said, the main event is going to be the lights out, non-sanctioned match that no rules, no anything, and it doesn't even count towards your record, according to Kenny Omega. I know he was in one of these before and lost to John Moxley, and it doesn't even go against your record. But it will be the IWGP United States Champion John Moxley, which is why Kenta is here. He is going to team up with the person who he beat for that title in Lance Archer, and they're going to be going against Kenta, the number 1 contender for Moxley's U.S. title, along with the AEW champion Kenny Omega. Well, I still can't get over that. So Ryan Choi, might as well just we'll stick with you, then we'll go around the horn here. Who do you got?
This is really hard to pick because I can't figure out if they're going to set up a future world title match for Kenny Omega in this, or if they're going to kind of give Kenta some steam and build up that match. I'm going to say in the end, Lance Archer's only in this match to take the pin, which is a weird thing to say with Lance Archer. But that's where I'm going with the match. I think the team of Kenta and Kenny Omega win this. Lance Archer takes the pin.
All right, John Smith.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. I'll second that one.
All right, John DeConnie.
I would have to concur. I don't see any flaws in the argument.
I have a hard time with that. Lance Archer getting. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Moxley. I know I went with Moxley last week. I lost the points on that one. I'm gonna give him another try here. I got Moxley pinning Kenta, and then just getting beat up afterwards by the Good Brothers and possibly the Bucks. And another match that stemmed off this. I think it'll be pretty unanimous, so I won't exactly go around the horn on this. Pac will be fighting Little Ziggler, Ryan Nemeth. Ryan Nemeth now, this is the 2nd week in a row, or 2 out of 3 weeks now. Ryan Nemeth will be on AEW Dynamite, so good for him. What was his nickname? The Hollywood something, right?
Yeah, I don't remember what it is. Hollywood something is right, though.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's Hollywood, Florida that they're from. It's actually kind of funny.
Right.
John DeConnie, there was a tag team battle royal. You and I went out on a limb last week. We picked for the Sammy Hagar, the drummer from Kiss or whatever he does. We had the right idea here. It's just we had the right idea, but it ended up turning backwards.
Yes, indeed. We were so close. They were right down to the end too, or at least Sammy was. So we've got 10 teams involved here. We got the Bucks, who, if they won, would have been able to pick their upcoming opponent. And a lot, it seemed to be a lot of folks thought that's the way they were going to go, and I did too for a while. You had 2 teams from the Dark Order, Reynolds and Silver, Grayson and Uno. You had the whole inner circle, Jericho, MJF, Santana Ortiz, Sammy Hagar. Then you had Jurassic Express, Private Party, the Acclaimed, and Top Flight. Very early on, or fairly early on, Santana eliminates Matt Jackson. So Nick's in there all by himself, trying to fight to, be able to name their own opponent. MJF spent most of the match road dog style, just kind of hanging out, laying down in the corner. He didn't grapevine the bottom rope, but, it was reminiscent.
It really is.
The Good Brothers.
I'm sorry, John DeConnie. That tactic, or I guess whatever you want to call it, is probably top 5. It's up there with Jerry Lawler hiding under the ring or Vince McMahon doing commentary. It's up there as top 5 greatest strategies in Rumble history. All right.
I thought you mean Peyton Royce doing commentary.
It was Billy Kay, but yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay, so then we had Good Brothers show up and assist in eliminating the Private Party. And then we had MJF finally decide to come out of the corner. He tosses Nick Jackson out. And now the Bucks are gone. We're down to about the final 6. We had Jungle Boy, Darius Martin, Max Caster, MJF, Sammy, and Chris Jericho. MJF tossed Jungle Boy pretty quickly. Then Max Caster tried to hold MJF for Sammy. Sammy absolutely decided to deliver a super kick, but MJF ducked out of the way, and Max took that, and he would then backdrop MJF to the floor. Darius Martin would flip Max out, and leaving Les Sex Gods to team up on Darius. And Sammy got tossed to the apron, but not all the way to the floor by Darius. He started to skin the cat, used it as a head scissor to try and pull him out. Jericho came along and assisted, wound up eliminating Sammy, and then eventually carried Darius by hitting a Judas effect when he had him dangling from the ropes. Your winners, Chris Jericho and MJF, getting a title shot at Revolution.
Yeah, they're up next for the Young Bucks at Revolution, which will take place March 7th. Like I said, just to piggyback it, Sammy backstage, he was not happy with this outcome at all. Again, the word collateral damage, that it's always everybody else other than Jericho and MJF. They're always the collateral damage. So Sammy got his panties into a bunch, went flying out of the locker room. But to Jericho's credit, he chased after him. So Jericho cares. You know, it was nice. He's trying. You know, I don't think this is on Jericho. I think MJF is kind of just being the puppet master here. In a fun match, Britt Baker defeated Thunder Rosa after Baker flung Rosa face first into the exposed turnbuckle, which KO'd her, but she applied the lockjaw on just for fun, and the referee stopped the contest. So a big win by our good doctor over Thunder Rosa. Now, they were both announced to be in the Women's Eliminator Tournament. They're going to have two sides of brackets, 16 on each side. One will take place in the United States. One was actually going to take place over in Japan. So that's actually pretty cool to see. We're probably going to get some video footage from overseas with some Japanese wrestlers, which will be a lot of fun. But we're going to start the tournament off actually tomorrow night, where Thunder Rosa will be right back in action, John DeConnie, and she's going to be going up against Hillsborough's own Layla Hirsch.
Ooh, that should be a heck of a match. Oh man, I think. Man, I really want to pick Layla, but I think Thunder Rosa will take one just because, man, how do you run with her and Britt somewhere along the line in this bracket?
Yeah, exactly. They're both obviously in the United States. You got to see they're going to be in that bracket. Well, they announced it. They announced the Japanese side, Ryan, and the United States side. They were going to be on the same side of the bracket. They're going to run into each other at some point.
Yeah, in this particular match with Layla Hirsch and Thunder Rosa, I also really want to pick Layla Hirsch, and I think I'm going to, because I think Britt Baker is going to not be done with Thunder Rosa here. I think she's going to, her or Reba or somebody will come out and do a little something, and Layla Hirsch will get a big bracket-busting win, even though we haven't seen the brackets yet.
Yeah, right. Like, how do you bust a bracket when they're not even revealed yet? That's how you do it. You have Layla Hirsch beat Thunder Rosa. Because, like I said, this is a Jersey girl, John Smith. But I'm really not giving her a chance, although I really want to. I really hope Ryan's right here.
You know what? Ryan actually took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say the same exact thing. So I was going to say it with more conviction, though. So I'm gonna say it was my idea, and he took it from me.
Well, John, you're the Jersey guy here. You should have had. I should have went with you first. I apologize. Ryan's not. He's not on home field here, so he's not from Pittsburgh either, where Britt Baker's from. So Ryan doesn't have a dog in the fight here like we do. Matt Page and Adam Page and Matt Hardy, they defeated the Chaos Project after a buckshot lariat from Adam Page, where Matt Hardy tagged himself in to get the pinfall. And I guess you get more money. I'm assuming you get more money if you actually get the decision here. That's why Matt Hardy's doing all this. You can't just be Thunder he's stealing. I'm sure there's money involved here, so that's kind of funny. John Smith, two of your favorites here in a lumberjack match.
Yeah, it was a nice paced match. The lumberjacks didn't get too much involved, which I like out of a lumberjack match. I like just their presence being there, and that keeps the action in the ring for the most part. Sure, the heels get a couple shots in on Archer. It's weird seeing Archer as a face right now. I mean, he's still Archer, but I mean, it's almost like he lost a gear or something, which is why I could see him taking the pin in that other match we were talking about earlier that's happening tomorrow. But, there was nothing too special going on in this match, just nice wrestling. And then at the end, all the lumberjacks get involved more so with each other. Somebody goes through a table, one of the ice cream men. They were all beating each other up, and Kingston takes the blackout, which is basically a reverse Razor's Edge for the win. And I have no problem with the match. I just don't like seeing Archer as a heel or as a face now.
Yeah, it seems like AEW, they try to keep even the good guys, they try to keep them in somewhat of a gray area where, they have a little bit of a meanness to them, because that's what AEW fans want. So, Father James Mitchell was the officiant in Kip and Penelope's wedding, and I can't be the only one here thinking, like, crap, somebody's going to get shot again. So, waiting for the lights to go out again. Didn't happen, thank God, but absolutely beautiful ceremony. They're such a happy couple, and they just love each other so much, and I'm just no good at weddings. I just get Ryan, talk about the Cody match.
The Cody match?
That's going to make me cry.
Weddings.
Well, let me see here.
Cody and Red Velvet, they're going to be fighting Shaq and Jade Cargill on March 3rd, the Wednesday before Revolution. They had to move Revolution here, and the reason why that they had to put this match on March 3rd, because the rumor going around that the NBA All-Star Game will now be on March 7th, even though the NBA said at the beginning of the season they weren't going to have one. Now they're trying to put one in for the sake of charity, and that's good, but LeBron James is not happy, so I can't imagine this game going off if LeBron James is upset that they was told that they're going to do something that now he has to do. So, but they're going to, Cody and Lee Johnson, they're going to fight Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi. Anybody want to go against Cody here? I don't think so. We could easily just fast forward this if that's okay with you guys.
I could see a situation where Peter Avalon pins Lee Johnson.
All right.
But I wouldn't go that way. But I could see it happening.
As Ryan, you gave me the match card for Dark tonight. I want to bring it up for two reasons. I know you have one guy in particular you want to mention. I know you're covering a lot of the Florida independent wrestling scene. I'll give you a chance to shoot at Mr. St. Patrick here.
Yeah, Jake St. Patrick is going up against Brian Cage, and it's kind of a double relationship with CCW because Jake St. Patrick is one of their regular guys, and also Brian Cage is involved in a bunch of angles with them right now as well. There's a big show that CCW is doing up in Nashville. Cage will be doing a seminar. He's featured on the main show, though, against Casey Navarro. So Jake St. Patrick here is facing Brian Cage. He actually, his first match on Dark was against Will Hobbs, and Hook beat him up on the outside, gave him that exploder suplex on the floor. So, Jake, I guess, is out for some revenge, I guess. We'll see how he does. But, yeah, that's the match I'm looking forward to most. But Dark has a couple of competitive matches tonight with Red Velvet and Diamante, Joey Janela, Jack Evans. So there's some things to actually see on the show tonight.
Yeah, including Marco Stunt. Pretty sure that FTR was holding him hostage, but apparently, I guess he got out. I'm not exactly sure how that happened. I think somebody screwed up something here because Marco Stunt's going to be fighting Ryan Nemeth tonight on Dark when FTR had him pretty much, hog-tied in the chair. So there you go for that. And then what might be the main event, it'll be the top of the hour match for the TNT Championship. John Smith, Darby Allin's going to be defending against Jersey's own Joey Janela. So I'm giving you a shot here. Jersey get it done this time?
No, Darby's going to take this one.
All right, John DeConnie.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
All right, Ryan, you have one Jersey pick today. How about two? You want to go 2 for 2 with Jersey?
If there was such a thing as disqualifications in AEW, then probably. But a lot of Sting, a lot of Team Taz, and probably a very brutal match between Darby Allin and Joey Janela that Darby Allin ends up winning.
Yep, you kind of can't really go with Darby here. We were talking in pre-production just about Joey Janela, and they're just not using him. It's whatever. This is a throwaway match, unfortunately. Hopefully they can get something good for Joey going. Real quick before I let you guys go, here are our numbers from Beach Break. John Smith won the show. He went 4-1. Everybody else went 3-2. Power chimed in with a 2-3. And that is where we stand going forward. We will have our overall standings for the Essential Wrestling Podcast Pick'em Pool on ProWrestlingPick'em.com. We will have our overall standings later on the show when we are picking No Surrender and Takeover Vengeance Day. So, gentlemen, we are going to bid you adieu for the time being. Go get some groceries. Say hi to your loved ones. We are going to bring in the icon, the showstopper, the man who hogs all the handsome, Gary Mehaffy, top of the evening to you, sir.
Although I just have to say, I'm slightly worried for you to make sure you're okay, because you were talking at the start of the show about the Super Bowl. You were talking about your tight end, and I was worried in case you were away seeing Tyler's proctologist. Maybe that's why you weren't here. You weren't here last week. It's not that you were working for the man; it's that the man was working on you. Maybe that's what the problem. Maybe that's why you weren't here. But
Okay,
I know on that note.
Gary, I lost my notes. Okay, so NXT UK, I know there it is. I know the first thing we're going to talk about here, Jordan Devlin's open challenge. Normally he fights guys that are cruiserweights, 205 and under. This was not the case. As much as Sid Scala tried to get him some competition, I guess there's really nobody left for him to fight. That's under 205 at the moment.
Yeah, nobody seems to want to take him. I thought it was interesting because obviously the storyline with Trent Seven trying to get down to 205. But say that's obviously where they're going with the storyline, so they're having him fight somebody bigger. But I thought it was a good big man, little man match, it has to be said, and that I mean, and Dave Mastiff is pushed, so it's a good win for Jordan, and it was a great finish with the 450 splash and so on. So
yeah, so he won with the 450 splash. He held his own. He almost got the Devlin inside. I saw him. He was perched up massive on the turnbuckle. I'm like, oh my God, you didn't see him trying to pull for it. That would have been something else if he would have been able to pull that off. So a nice big win for Jordan Devlin. How much do you think Trent Seven has to go before we get this eventual match?
It'll be interesting. I mean, I don't think it'll obviously be. They have a big show, I think, coming up soon that they want to try and do. And hey,
yeah,
Gary comes in hot all the time, not just with the jokes. No, I mean, it'll be interesting. What I think will happen is that they'll go to do the match, and I was going to say Finn Balor, Jordan Devlin will get Trent Seven to weigh himself and go, sorry, you're 205 and a half, Trent, not this week, and kind of break it out for a few weeks, but it'll be a few weeks' time, I'd say. But I'm looking forward to it. It's a good storyline. So
he's gonna put like some weight gainer in his drink or like some lead or something. Like, yeah, there's some underhanded tricks he could possibly do right now to make sure that's kind of fun. Nina Samuels, that not happy with her, Gary. Not happy with her. Hitting her inside of Brookside in the head with a loaded purse. Like, oh.
It was funny when the match came out, Ryan and I were messaging and we were like, oh, I'll be happy now. And here comes Zaya. Oops, you'll not be too happy now. No. And I knew that you weren't watching it at the time. And it was like, I wanted to say, I was like, oh, don't build your hopes up. But I do like, because when they came out, I thought, yeah, okay, this will be Zaya Brookside's going to take this because of everything that's going on. And then when she didn't, I was genuinely surprised. And I thought, okay, we'll keep spinning it out. And obviously later in the show, she went and found Sid Scala and she's demanding more matches.
Yeah.
So they are, and we've said this before with NXT UK, they kind of drip feed the storyline bit by bit, and it's brilliant. I mean, it really is very proper episodic television in the best sense of WWE. So it was a good match, and it's still taking it forward. So,
and it's a tough thing to do, I think, with a 1 hour show. I don't think NXT UK gets enough credit for being able to have to extend some stories that you have a pretty big roster, a talented roster, and you want to try to get everybody involved. And you just so she's not done with Nina yet. I'm not done with Nina yet. That's the problem. That's this. Go get her, Zaya. Let's get this done here. The rest of the show, Gary, was a little I don't want to say superstar versus inaction here, but Joe Coffey, he defeated his inaction with the best of the bells. But then after the match, Joe Coffey brought up the interaction in the prior week with Rampage Brown, and now we're off and running with this one.
Yeah, I mean, they had the interaction backstage last week or the week before, and then they had this. That's going to be two big boys, and it does. From looking at it, it's going to be a tough one when they eventually meet, because you look at it and go, oh, they're going to focus on Rampage Brown and bring him in the title picture, but yet they really are keeping Joe at the top of the card and building around Gallus. So it's going to be a tough big man match when that happens. But again, they've slowly but surely built that up over the last lot of weeks, that you know that it's coming. and it's you know that the match is coming, but you're not going to be disappointed that you know what's happening. You're going, let's see how they get here. So again, it's going to be one that's worth looking forward to.
Yeah, and it just seems like this might as well be happening in a bar. Like, you want to go? Yeah, I want to go. Do you want to go? Yeah, I want to go. So they're just going to go. Like, they don't need stories here. They just say, we just want to go. And this is going to main event the show. This is going to be a huge match, and this is going to get, 20 minutes or so, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm really looking forward to this. And it's going to be, I guess, the first chance that, a guy like me who really doesn't know Rampage Brown the way that you do, this will be the first, test that I get to see him in a competitive match with another guy who I know for a fact can go as main event to takeovers. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Rampage Brown can actually do. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just smoking, enhancement talent on a weekly basis. No disrespect to Jack Stars. But Ilya Dragunov, he defeated Tyson T-Bone after a referee stoppage again with those elbow strikes, Gare.
Yeah, I mean, and we've been discussing it for a few weeks of saying it looks obviously as if Dragunov has a heel turn coming, that he keeps having the match and then he snaps and he starts to regret it. Now, they've gone interesting because he obviously, with Sam Gradwell coming out in the middle of the match and giving it all this.
Yeah, he's everywhere. He's absolutely everywhere.
Fair play to him. Fair play to him. But say with him doing that, it's interesting because instead of saying, oh yeah, look, Ilya's getting some good guys to face, so that's how you know he's a bad guy. In this case, you've got Sam Gradwell, who everybody just wants to slap in the nicest way possible. And so you're going, right, okay. So he's going for him. Now, it will still come that he will still, I think Ilya will still go off and join the dark side. But it is really, really good, as I say, and they're not rushing anything. It's all slow, just drip feeding you little things, but you can see he just has this hard side to him that you wouldn't want to mess with him like. So
yeah, and I think Sam Bradwell, exactly. He's got the face you want to slap, and he's got the mouth. Apparently, he doesn't shut up. Yeah. And this is going to be more detrimental, I think, to Dragunov's insane thing. That Gradwell's is going to drive him nuts. But Stan Grad, he's just been absolutely everywhere. And it's the same thing. He doesn't shut up. And one thing I know is just bringing up NXT real quick. Ever since Danny Burch turned heel, he doesn't shut up either. He just talks and talks. You never knew that out of him when he was a good guy. So I think that's kind of funny to see this side of Danny Burch. And then the last match that we saw was actually the second match on the show. Joseph Connors and the female that would not be mentioned. Joseph Connors, he defeated his inaction, but this particular inaction, I think this was the second week in a row for him, and he actually did pretty well for himself. I am not remembering his name. I didn't write it down.
Josh Morrell. Morrell, yeah. And it was always just what I remember. Danny Jones, obviously, Joe Coffey beat. No, Josh Morrell, yeah, he's had a few times, as you say, at the minute. It's almost, and this is going to sound like a really silly comparison, and Ryan would know from New Japan and stuff, but it's like when the young boys start in Japan and they lose, it's like, it doesn't matter that they're losing now because we're going to build them up. And for some of these guys, they like a Josh Morrell, you can see everybody going, okay, they're not there yet, so the big boys will beat them or the middle boys will beat them. But you know what? With a wee bit more TV time and they give them a little bit more exposure. Now, yes, Joseph Connors went over on him. And as we say, since he and Jenny have gone together, to be fair to Jenny, neither of them have looked back since. But say it's been great to see, actually, even for the like of Joseph Connors, who is very, very talented wrestler, is a great wrestler. It's good to see him get more time as well. So more power to him.
100%. He was in that original tournament too. Joseph Connors he's an NXT UK original. If you want to start tagging people like that, he was in that original tournament that Tyler Bate won. So yeah, it seems like, I don't know if he was hurt or whatever. It just seems like they didn't know what to do with him, whatnot. So I really do. I'm with you. And actually, I like Jenny. I think Jenny's a good healer. You're not supposed to like her, so I like that. But going into this Thursday, Gary, I'm going to do what I can to watch live with you. Actually, I won't be able to. I'll be working that day. But Miko Satomura, she is going to be making her debut. For those of you who do not know, she's apparently a Japanese legend that WWE fans, we did get a quick glimpse of her. She was in the 2018, the second Mae Young Classic, the one that Toni Storm won. Toni Storm actually eliminated Miko Satomura in the semifinals. I actually just closed the Wikipedia page, but the list of women that she beat in that tournament to get to the semifinals was Killer Kelly, Mercedes Martinez and Lacey Lane, who was now Kaden Carter. So she was, that's 3 big wins before she took an L at the hands of the eventual winner. So I know just by hearing articles and seeing whatever on Facebook, a lot of the locker room is happy to see Miku there, not just as for the talented wrestler that she is, but the knowledge and stuff that she brings, Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, they've hired her as a player coach, and I was surprised to see that they're bringing her in just so quickly. But she is tremendous in the ring. She has got so much experience, and for all those, I mean, for the girls there, the women that she'll be wrestling with, A, she'll make their matches look better, but B, like when she's in with them, but B, with the work that she'll be able to do with them behind the scenes as well. Actually, it's a great signing, so everybody should be really looking forward to seeing her next week.
All right, I'm going to put this comment up for you. I'm assuming they're talking about Ginny, but Jelly, are we going to, Gary, is that a name that you can possibly use? I think you can have some fun with that one. And then also the Supernova Sessions. I believe this is episode 3 of the Supernova Sessions. Give us a little bit about Sha Samuels. We've seen him in the ring twice now. He's another guy who doesn't look like he likes to yap, huh?
Oh, I'll tell you what, he and Sha can talk. He very great personality, and he's good in the ring too. I mean, and I've seen a few things that he's done, and I've spoken to him and stuff. It's some sort. He's very, very good. And this actually will be interesting for me because the previous 2 Supernova Sessions have had your stereotypical good guys of A-Kid and Ben Carter coming in, your very clean cut baby face. Here we are. Whereas Sha Samuels coming in, and we saw Noam Dar and Sha Samuels talking backstage a week or 2 ago as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do because they obviously know each other quite well from ICW and stuff. So therefore, it'll be interesting that they can both talk. It'll probably just be 1 hour of the 2 of them. The matches will not happen. It'll just be a 1 hour Supernova session.
And then what's been boiling over for months now, Gar, and it culminated when Eddie Dennis cost Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews their entry in the I guess they were the final 2 teams in that 4 corners tag team title match, number 1 contenders match. They're going to get at it in a street fight. This is just boiled over to that point. These 4 just don't like each other. Eddie Dennis is involved. I know your heart's in one place. Is your pick going to be in the same place?
No, I'm going to go the Hunt. Ironically, because I will say, I'm really looking forward to this match because you've got, I mean, Andrews and Webster are amazing, and anybody who's ever been to PWG and stuff will know how good they are. But in this environment, in a street fight, I think that the Hunt, this is their type of fight. They're 2 big bruiser brawlers, and so I think it'll be for that unless somebody comes to the aid of Andrews and Webster. But I would say I'm going with the Hunt in this one. So.
All right. This it's right up the alley. I'll agree with you on this one. You're usually pretty spot on when it comes to picking these main event matches. It's right up their alley. It's a street fight. You can't keep Eddie Dennis away from him now. He's going to get involved. As far as I know, Andrews and Webster, they don't have any friends at the moment. That's really who knows. But Gary, actually, before you go, I did promise you this. I am sorry. The NXT Championship is on the line this Sunday at Vengeance Day. We got some UK guys going at it. Finn Balor representing Ireland, and Pete Dunne, who's been a UK champion for what seemed like forever. So who do you got in this one?
There's part of me almost doesn't care because it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it really will be. It'll just be such a super match, and I think I'm gonna say I've just changed my mind. I was gonna go Finn Balor, but I'm gonna say Pete Dunne's gonna take it because, and now his name's gone right out of my head. Oh, what do you call him? The NFL guy who was in, and I've just taken a blank.
Oh, Pat McAfee.
That's the one. He'll come back and cost Finn Balor the match, and Pete Dunne will take the title.
All right. That would be a lot of fun. I forgot about Pat McAfee there for the hot second. So there you go. There's our first pick registered for NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. The rest of us will be on screen later to give our picks. Gary, thank you so much, as always, each and every week for coming on and staying up late. We know you're up late over there in Belfast, so thank you very much, Gary. You have yourself a great night tonight.
Not a problem. Enjoy, gents. Have a good show.
All right, so now we're going to bring in John Smith and John Takahashi. Did I get it right this time? I did. But then, hey, everybody, look! It's Tyler! We have Tyler Adelle. Our sheriff is back on screen. Tyler, how are you, pal?
There we go. Great as always, and we're always happy to be here with you guys hanging out, talking some wrestling.
Exactly, Tyler. So we're going to go things with SmackDown right quick. I know you said you've been a little bit busy, but we're going to have you on for pretty much for the rest of the show here. We are glad to have you back. This past Friday on SmackDown, Roman Reigns was not happy that Edge didn't show up at the beginning of the show when Roman wanted him to. He doesn't like that Edge is playing games with him, and he wanted Edge's decision by the end of the night. And then I guess when Edge did come out to speak whatever, Roman came out, demanded that he pick him, acknowledge me as the main event of WrestleMania. And all of a sudden, here comes Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens is just not giving up on Roman Reigns. John Smith, we thought it was tough to beat a team 3 times in one season. What about 4? Has that ever been done?
I don't think anybody's ever had the chance.
Yeah, right? So, to be continued with that, Edge just sat there, smirked and laughed, but now we're picking right back up where we left off with Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns in the Universal title picture. John Takahashi, we had a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. This one didn't disappoint either.
No. I mean, you had Big E, Apollo, and Sammy, so you know you're going to get some good action there. And they went round and round inside the ring and out for about 10 solid minutes of pretty fast-paced action, considering guys with that big muscle mass like Apollo and Big E, you would think they would tire pretty quickly. But this match had a pretty good pace. It had a cruiserweight-ish pace early on. Around the 10-minute mark, Apollo hit a huge splash on Sammy, but Sammy was able to kick it too. He then grabbed Sammy for a head and arm. Big E came up behind, grabbed a belly to back, and was able to launch both of them over his head. This sent Apollo to the floor. He kept rolling right on out of the ring. But Big E was a little, wobbly on his feet when he got up, but it allowed Sammy to nail a haluva kick. And Apollo had to come back in and make that breakup at 2 because it looked like Sammy had perhaps gotten his hands back on the title. So Apollo then rolled back out with Sammy. They had a little tussle outside the ring. Apollo wound up gorilla press slamming him into the timekeeper's area and got back in the ring just in time to run into a big ending, and Big E retains.
Yeah, that was an absolutely great match. Looking forward to see where all of these guys head as they go into WrestleMania. I guess looking forward to this Friday night. I'm sure Sammy's got some sort of excuse why he got tossed into the timekeeper area, and that cost him. He got tossed hard. Also on that match, another probably one of the greatest technical wrestling matches you could possibly have out of this WWE roster, John Smith. In the outcome, I guess I kind of figured Cesaro would win, but he's, because he's kind of getting the push that I know wrestling fans have been waiting for about 10 years for to have happen. But a swing into the sharpshooter, that's a little.
Well, I mean, especially with the way the match went, this was not a WWE style of match at all.
No.
I mean, Daniel Bryan came out and just wailed on him for 3.5 minutes. So the match only went 4 minutes. And Daniel Bryan had the upper hand literally the entire time, except for one reversal with an uppercut. But then Bryan just reversed it right back into a yes lock, and then eventually Daniel Bryan comes off the ropes, and Cesaro tilt-a-whirls him up into a torture rack, which was crazy. Then he flips him down onto his knee for a backbreaker. He swings him around and steps through into the sharpshooter, and he actually taps him out with it. Especially that there was no offense by Cesaro leading up to that. Basically, It was a very odd way to win, but yeah, we all saw him winning because of the push he's getting, but it was weird. And then he also got busted open by a rogue elbow by Daniel Bryan when he was coming off the top rope onto the outside. Yeah.
That was badass looking. Yeah, shout out to Tyson Kidd, who was the one that taught Cesaro the sharpshooter. There is a Canadian tie to Cesaro doing that, so I think that's probably the first time he's ever gotten a win with it. Like, that was my joy at the ground on that one. I figured to be the crotch neutralizer, the cold water, as I like to call it. Bianca's Belair's father apparently needs a new recliner after Bianca won the Royal Rumble. They showed that on both Raw and SmackDown. That was absolutely hysterical. Bianca was doing an interview. She said she wasn't making her decision yet. It was interrupted by Carmella. Then it was the boss time, and then Reggie got whooped up on, and that was the end of that segment. So it could be continued with Sasha and Carmella. And now Tyler, I had to pick wrong that Shayna Baszler was getting the Squadouche and elimination department. She ended up throwing out 6, but I did call Dom Mysterio eliminating Baron Corbin, and they had the match because of it this past Friday.
Yeah, so obviously, Dom Mysterio takes King Corbin out of the Rumble. King Corbin, understandably, a little bit upset about that, so he's out for revenge on Saturday. He comes out pretty strong. I mean, he goes after Rey Mysterio and Dom on their way to the ring. Takes out Rey Mysterio's knee. They had a pretty decent match. Action gets taken outside of the ring. Rey Mysterio somehow makes his way under the apron as King Corbin's going to climb back up into the ring. He grabs his leg. It allows Dom Mysterio to hit a 619 for the victory. It was a great match. Dom Mysterio to me is just getting better every week. Obviously thanks to his father and the people around him.
Yeah, you can see there's still training videos out on him. Still, Dom's still working hard. It's funny how cheating's bad, but when the Mysterios do it, it's okay because it's a tribute to Eddie. I like the double-edged sword here, so I think that's kind of funny. But I guess I have in my notes right here, where are Baron Corbin's Knights? But I guess I found out Ryan dropped the news this morning that Steve Cutler got released. Ryan, can you throw in the comments anything? I can't remember what you said about Steve Cutler this morning, but I guess one of his Knights of the Lone Wolf is done. I guess I don't know what Wesley Blake is doing. I guess this whole thing just ended as quickly as it started. So, and then to round out the show, Bayley defeated Ruby Riott after that facebuster finisher that still doesn't have a name that she's been doing for about 10 months now, ever since she turned heel. Probably even longer than that, since she turned heel, right, over about a year. Billy Kay got involved. It kind of didn't. It cost Ruby the match. All right, that story continues. The tag team champions, what are the Dirty Dogs, right? Dirty Dogs. They defeated Gable and Otis. And then, quick mention that 33 million people, John Smith, I'll throw this at you, watched Andre the Giant win the WWF Championship on the main event. Do you have any recollections of that match or watching a replay of it or the double headers or anything?
No, I mean, I actually watched it pretty recently, so I fast forwarded it on the show this past week. But yeah, no, I didn't watch it as a kid. I was too young, man. I was like 3 or 4 when that happened. So,
yeah, but that was crazy. That was Andre the Giant's lone WWF championship that he held for all of 5 minutes before giving it to Ted DiBiase, which you cannot do. He forfeited the title, hence how WrestleMania 4 came about. So
Andre the Giant doesn't need championships.
Andre didn't. He drew the money. He didn't need the titles. You're exactly right. Going to last night's episode of Raw. Started out kind of fun. Here comes the money. Haven't seen Shane O'Max's Raw Underground. Comes out, announces the Elimination Chamber, and then bounces. Like, I'm like, that was like, what do you? That was really, really random. So Shane showed up for 5 minutes. Both Drew and Sheamus are not happy that they're not getting the one-on-one that they both agreed to and that John Smith has been pushing for with the Royal Rumble. So they're going to have 4 other people in the chamber with them. So I guess can we just make the prediction now? It's going to come down to those 2 in the chamber. Like, is this really is it that obvious? Like, is this not? Anyway, so now and then you bring Edge into the equation. Like I said, he's making his rounds. He's going to wait till after the chamber to make his decision. I believe that is very calculated on his part. So, but Drew McIntyre, going back to him, John Smith, him and Randy, they rolled it back in the main event. It was a non-title match, and Sheamus was out there early.
Yeah, he sat by the announcer's table, didn't have much to say, but I mean, the match went as well as it could have gone. I mean, the two of them had much better matches previously when the title was on the line. Yeah. It felt like it was just leading towards something else, and then it was, because Sheamus ended up just ruining the match at the end out of nowhere too. There wasn't even like much of a scuffle beforehand. He just popped up into the ring, delivers the brogue kick to Randy to disqualify Drew, and then we get that as we come off the air. Drew McIntyre got the upper hand back, and that was that.
Yeah, it looked like Drew ducked out of the way and it accidentally hit Randy, so Randy got the win on that, and he took the bullet that was aimed for Drew. Yeah, and I feel like it was a much ado about nothing match. I know both guys are in the chamber, as well as the next two guys in the next match, Tyler. Right after Shane McMahon and Postman Pierce made the match, here comes AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy, and they were circling back to them from SmackDown, and it was almost the same exact story they told us in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's another great match. Two longtime veterans in the wrestling business. Jeff Hardy, he deals with a left knee injury during the match. Obviously, AJ Styles, being a seasoned veteran, knows he's got to take advantage of that. Automatically starts targeting that knee. Jeff Hardy fights back a little bit, ready to hit that swanton, but it takes him a little extra time to get up the turnbuckles with his knee injury. It gives AJ Styles a little time to recover, eventually turn that swanton bomb into a calf crusher and pick up the victory.
Yeah, that knee has just been worked over, and apparently, I don't know if they're selling it that it just never fully recovered from when AJ cracked it back in July or August or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems as if, it's the never-ending knee injury.
Yeah, and they said both of these guys are in the chamber. That knee is going to come into effect once again, unless he's wearing the knee brace, and that's not – AJ Styles does not like knee braces.
Yes.
They're on Jeff Hardy's knee, because that costs him –
tactic he can bring. That's a tactic he can bring into that chamber match to protect himself a bit.
So Bianca Belair, well, she also made the trip over to Raw. She is also not announcing her opponent now that the Raw Women's Championship match was made in the Elimination Chamber. It started with Flair and Lacey Evans saying that the relationship is strictly business, which I was happy to hear because both of them are both happily married, so it kind of didn't really make sense, it's known. So Ric Flair is going to help her win the Raw Women's Championship. The first step was that if she beats Charlotte in their match that they impromptu match that they just had, management would give Lacey the title shot at the Elimination Chamber. Charlotte repeatedly punched Lacey in the face and then actually pushed the referee, getting disqualified. So Lacey did win the match. So now it's going to be Lacey and Asuka, and we will discuss that match next week when we make our picks for the Elimination Chamber. John DeConnie, you don't really know unless you know the motivational. I don't even know how to put it, but just how motivating Air Bud is. The movie set, and how it just brings everything. The life. It's a lot of metaphors in those movies.
Yeah, and if you go and rip through the whole series of them, you come out, on cloud nine like Matt Riddle did. So he locked it up with Keith Lee in what was, a likely eliminator scenario, number one match for the U.S. title, since they both seem to have their eyes on Bobby Lashley. Riddle used his speed early on. Lee countered with unbelievable power at every turn. And we saw towards the end there, we saw Riddle almost go up for a spirit bomb. He escaped over the top of Lee's head and then used a turnbuckle to deliver not quite his final flash, but a jumping knee right to Lee's face that stunned him. He followed it up with a running soccer kick and a floating bro. He got a 2 count. He hit a series of brotons and then went for that final flash once again. Only Lee caught it, powered it up for a spirit bomb, which Riddle reversed into a triangle, which Lee powered through again, tossed him to the corner. He did get hit with the final flash coming out of the corner, but when Riddle went to the ropes this time and jumped for presumably another knee, Lee caught him, put him right up into the spirit bomb, and at that point, what are you going to do? 1, 2, 3 victory. But it really didn't much matter anyway. You thought at that point Keith Lee was getting the title shot, but Bobby Lashley came out and attacked both men, delivering a brutal one-arm chokes, power bomb / chokes. I don't know what you call that, but he got Lee way up in the air and bounced him off the canvas, and then put the hurt lock back on Riddle. And I hope Riddle didn't wind up getting another black eye from the full Nelson like he did last week. But that's going to lead us to a little 3-way dance.
Yeah, they announced the triple threat match for next Sunday at the Elimination Chamber. Keith Lee and Riddle, they're both going to be challenging for MVP's United States Championship. And then the rest of the matches, I'm not going to try to say any of this with a straight face. All right, so the New Day defeated Retribution. Of course, were represented by Extension Cord and EWP favorite Slapjack, sponsored by Popeye's Chicken Sandwich. After the daybreak by the New Day, Woods was calling out Reckoning on his way up the ramp. So that'd be interesting to see if that match between Reckoning, Mia Yim, and Xavier Woods actually happens. Lana defeated Nia Jax by pushing her through a table. We already did. James Wheeler, I think he's a loyal watcher. He knew we were going to be talking about this. He commented early to make sure to get up because he was concerned about mine when I was in John's studio. The ring apron hurt the hole more than the studio chair you sat in. Yeah, so it's already Nia Jax has gone viral. She ended up trying for a leg drop on the apron, and she hurt her hole, apparently, as she bluntly put it. So for those of you on Twitter, please find Bully Ray's account, Bubba Ray Dudley. He put together a nice little trifecta with something he did, something else that happened in Impact, along with what Nia said. But then, there's more than just then from there, because for whatever reason, Naomi's been pounding around with Lana now. I missed that last week. Naomi defeated Shayna Baszler after another roll-up. That is now the 50,000th roll-up in Raw history. So congratulations to Monday Night Raw for their 50,000th roll-up decision.
With the balloons and confetti.
Past Shayna Baszler, because Shayna Baszler just went outside and started beating up Lana for no reason. That's what she likes to do. I guess that's, a lot of people have hobbies. We do this podcast. Shayna likes to beat up Lana. So that's what she saw the opportunity to do. And so she did it, and it cost her the match. And then speaking of Reckoning, which is the name of Damian Priest's finishing maneuver, I think one of those is going to have to get changed. Damian Priest defeated Angel Garza with the Reckoning. So, gentlemen, that will do it for WWE, the main roster version. We are once again going to send you backstage to get some groceries, whatever, maybe a dessert for your pick segment. Make sure you have everything lined up. We will bring all three of you back on, but we're going to let Ryan Joy come in to talk some New Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh, that's the same screen. Why did I do that? Ryan Joy, first things first, before we even get started going forward, I want to publicly thank you for running the ship last week and the prior weeks I haven't been around. I should be around for a little bit. I know there's going to be a couple more times you'll be called upon to do it. Thank you very much. You're doing a great job. I'm really enjoying the Essential Wrestling Podcast with you driving.
Absolutely. No problem. It was fun. These guys made it easy, so.
Yeah, it's a fun group. I know it's a lot of fun there.
I built a great rapport with Gary. He says he wishes it would just be just me and him all the time, but I'm sorry.
Like I said, that was a very smart move throwing Gary in that first segment to get the ratings. Oh wait, I was like, but Gary's here. You know what? So Ryan, what do we have coming up on New Japan? I know on the Daily Wrestling News Show this morning, which is also powered by the Eastern Observer. Both of our shows are under that parent company umbrella. You and Travis talked at length about New Japan. You got 2 nights coming up that seem pretty important.
Yeah, so the New Japan schedule, you go big show, then you have a lot of Road 2 shows, which are essentially house shows, and they usually lead to one of these shows. So we have 2 back-to-back. It's called The New Beginning in Hiroshima. or Hiroshima. And we got a full card here, but the matches you have to pay attention to are the last two on both nights. This one you have up right now is night 1. We have a heavyweight tag team championship match, God versus Sabre and Taichi. That's your Wrestle Kingdom rematch. God won at Wrestle Kingdom. The Sabre and Taichi are trying to get those titles back. This morning on the Daily Wrestling News Show, Travis called for a title change, and I called for a title retention here. So we'll see which one comes out on top, but I think they're going to retain the titles, and then God goes into a title match the next night. Sho and Hiromu Takahashi, who's going to win? You could probably flip a coin, but you know darn well that match is going to be fantastic. Hiromu Takahashi is trying to take that junior heavyweight championship into the main event of all the big shows. So he is on a campaign to do that, and I think he stands a really good chance of doing it. So that match is going to be lights out. It's going to be great.
Yeah. I've never known those guys to disappoint. So that's I'll start now.
That's right. And then on night 2, two big other title matches. You can see the second from the bottom is a never open weight 6-man tag team championship match between Yoshihashi, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroki Goto. They are defending the championships against Jay White and God, Gorillas of Destiny. Those are Haku's sons. So I'm picking Jay White and God to walk away with these titles, which would, in my worldview, give God multiple championships to carry around, and it would put a lot of gold in the Bullet Club stable. And then in the main event, you've got Kota Ibushi and Sanada. This will be Kota Ibushi's second title defense. He won the world title and the Intercontinental title, the double championship, on night 1 at Wrestle Kingdom, and then he defended them on night 2. So this is technically his second title defense. I don't see a scenario where Sanada will win the championships, but it's always a really good match when Sanada's in there. So he keeps it close. He'll probably get his finisher submission on, go for the moonsault, miss, and then Ibushi will finish him off with the Kamigoye. So 2 really big nights of New Japan. It's actually mornings for us in the United States and the East Coast. That both shows start at 4 a.m.
Okay, I know we talked earlier. I know you were on screen for the IWGP segment with Moxley and Kenta. Do we have any word on when that match is happening?
February 26th, 10 p.m. on so it'll be on New Japan World. The name of the show is New Japan Strong. So it is a taped show here in the United States. It's done out of Skyway Studios in Los Angeles. So it'll be an empty arena show.
There's a Skyway Studios in Los Angeles too?
Nope. That's Nashville.
Yeah, I was about to say like that. Wow.
Okay, I can't remember that one right now.
No, it's okay. Well, Los Angeles, it's a big city. I'm sure they'll find it. I'm sure.
There is also, I don't have a graphic for this, Al, but tomorrow night, Major League Wrestling, MLW Fusion, Laredo Kid is defending the AAA World Cruiserweight Championship against Leo Rush, who is defending his MLW World Middleweight Championship. It is title for title, Laredo Kid versus Leo Rush. This match should be stellar.
Yeah.
If anybody saw that the AAA's anniversary, it was Kenny Omega versus Laredo Kid. Those guys, tore it down. So Laredo Kid is very capable, and Leo Rush is amazing to watch. So I think that match should be great.
All right. That sounds absolutely spectacular. So we're actually doing pretty good on time. We have 2 huge major shows to pick. So we are going to bring everybody back in right now. Let me just pop that down so I have to do it later. There we go. We're going all hands on deck here. Gary's already asleep. We know that. He's on a huge time difference.
I'm not done.
I'm sorry, John. I still did it wrong again. I'm sorry, John. What'd you say?
I said I'm not done ordering my burger.
Here we go.
Maybe he can finish up.
There you go.
El, it's not lost on me that you put me in the main event segment for the last hour. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
talk about ratings. Talk about those ratings.
Ratings. There we go. So first things first, we're going to bring up, we're going to talk about Impact and then right into No Surrender, because pretty much everything that's going to happen either last Tuesday or tonight will pretty much leak into No Surrender. So it's going to be a nice, hopefully a quick little segment here. A couple notes here before we start going into No Surrender. Ken Shamrock was suspended, I think for the record, 10th time. It seems like every time he comes back, he just gets suspended again for beating up somebody. So Ken Shamrock, once again, is suspended. In a match last week, Havoc defeated Tasha Steelz via the Tombstone. Tonight, they're going to do the other half of it. It is going to be... Where did we didn't get the graphic? Oh, there's we did. No, we didn't. It's going to be Nevaeh versus Kierra Hogan. John DeConnie, who do you got in that one?
I guess I'm going to go with Nevaeh here, in which case the clean sweep would, I guess, kind of force their hand to give them Knockouts tag title shot.
That is, I'm completely in agreement with that. We are going to be speaking about some matches that haven't been booked yet that we're going to assume that they are. This is kind of one that's on the fence for me, but I feel like you're exactly right. If Nevaeh gets this win, that tag title match will probably happen. And then Violent by Design has offered an invite to Cousin Jake to join them. He has to make his decision tonight, so we're going to hear from Cousin Jake if he's going to join Violent by Design. So everything else going forward will be No Surrender influenced, and we're going to go over our picks and see what happens. Here are the overall standings going into No Surrender. John DeConnie has taken the lead back from me at the Royal Rumble. Not a lot of movement from Breach Break. 4 points for most of us, 6 for John Smith, 2 for Tyler. John DeConnie, I do believe. Oh no, that's right. I'm doing that too. I kind of went on a little bit of a tear there, getting Genesis and Hard to Kill correct. So I took the lead over Impact. Please make sure that you go to ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Make your picks for these matches. Here are the scoring system. It's going to be 5 points for the Impact Championship match, 3 points for all other title matches, 1 for the non-title matches. Anything interpromotional will get double the points. We do have one of those. It is a tag team championship match, Impact versus AEW. That match gets bumped up to 6 points. Therefore, the perfect pay-per-view gets bumped up to 6 points. And if there are any kickoff matches, they do not count. So Brian Myers, he wanted Eddie Edwards at No Surrender, but he wasn't medically cleared because of the eye injury that he suffered a couple weeks back that just still hasn't been healed when he got poked in the eye. So Hernandez was going to take his spot. I guess Matt Cardona got involved. And long story short, all of a sudden, Brian Myers is cleared now, and they're going to be a tag team match between Brian Myers and Hernandez against Eddie Edwards and Matt Cardona. John DeConnie, as our senior Impact correspondent, will let you lead off the picking here. Who do you got in this one?
I don't really have a good feel for this one. I'm going to say Cardona's newness to the brand and Eddie being Eddie, that they'll get the victory here, but I don't have a lot of confidence in that pick.
Yeah, it's going to go either way, Ryan Joy.
Yeah, and I will go the other way. I'm going to pick Brian Myers and Hernandez. I just feel like Myers will get the win. Cardona's a non-signed guy, so maybe he takes an L for now.
All right, John Smith.
Yeah, I like Myers to shake that losing stigma that he has on him from WWE.
Well, what is his record here? Hold on for a second. Do we have his record up here, Ryan?
No, that's a tag team record for him and Hernandez,
Gotcha.
Which is 0-0.
Would you happen to know his record off the top of your head here?
No, but I'll look it up. But I'll be
all right. Well, let Tyler make a pick then while you look that up. Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is as close to a 50-50 match as you can get, but I'm going to go with Eddie Edwards and Matt Cardona.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Eddie and Cardona too. I'm just gonna ride that bandwagon. Like I said, Eddie won at Hard to Kill. He had the huge win over Sami Callihan. Matt Cardona, he hasn't got his win yet here, so I figured if Hernandez is in the match, I don't think Myers' little tear that he can go on. I don't think it's gonna start now. I think if it was a one-on-one with Myers and Edwards or Myers and Cardona, I would take Brian Myers. But the fact that it's a tag team match, the fact that Hernandez is in it, we don't really see him all too often. I think Hernandez is going to take the pinfall here. Ryan, what'd you find?
Brian Myers is 2-0, both singles matches this year. Last year, he was 7-4 singles, 7-5 overall in Impact.
There you go. So Myers wins. He's a professional wrestler. The guy gets W's. So Larry D, John Smith. Here we go, buddy. Larry D. He defeated Crazy Steve after Steve springboarded into a Larry D knockout punch. Crazy Steve coming out to Marilyn Manson with Rosemary and the Decay just brings an absolute smile to my face. But Triple X has a bit of a problem here because they don't want to hit a woman. They don't like Rosemary. So Tennille Dashwood has offered her services to do that work for them. So they offered, it's not official yet, but Triple XL and Tennille Dashwood have offered a 6-person intergender match between Crazy Steve, Rosemary, and a person of their choosing. So John Smith, the potential of this match that'll probably be signed tonight. Who do you got?
I'll go with Triple XL and Tennille. I don't know who the third person will be on the other side, though. I can't really think of it.
No, yeah, Abyss is kind of working up in the Stanford Penitentiary, John Stacani, as they like to call it.
Yeah, exactly. I have here in my notes that it'll be versus Crazy Steve, Rosemary, and not Abyss. So it won't be the full-fledged original Decay, but I got to assume, or I'm hoping at least, that whoever they decide to plug in there is someone interesting and exciting, in which case I will give the victory to that team, Crazy Steve, Rosemary, and whomever.
All right. Ryan Joy?
Yeah, I want to hear Decay's music twice. So that's how I'm going to pick it.
Did you know that was Marilyn Manson? That's
No.
an ongoing joke. Every time John Smith comes over for an Impact show. Did you know that was Marilyn Manson? Tyler, who do you got?
I am also going to go with Crazy Steve, Rosemary, and the mystery partner. With wrestling history, the mystery partner is always pretty appealing. So that's where I'm going to lean with this pick.
Okay, I'm going to go with Triple XL and Tennille Dashwood here. I don't like betting against Crazy Steve, but it just seems like Larry D now, he's like prison tough. I feel like he's almost unstoppable. John Smith, I think maybe you can agree with me on that one. So I think Larry D for another knockout punch victory here. So give me Triple XL and Tennille Dashwood. Josh Alexander, he defeated Madman Fulton after a double underhook pile driver with a couple moves prior to that. And then they did an interview with Trey Miguel, and he kind of called the Rascals crutches. He kind of started bad-mouthing Wentz and Dez, or now Nash and Bridges, or whatever their names. We'll find that. I can't remember their names. But he started calling them crutches. I thought that was a little rough. But I guess that he was confronted by Sami Callihan. Told him to look in the mirror. So anyway, they came out with this thing called a triple threat revolver, and both Josh Alexander and Trey Miguel are in this match, along with Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Willie Mack, Blake Christian, Suicide, and Daivari. So apparently the rules of this match, it is like a gauntlet match, but it's always going to be a triple threat. So they're going to start with 3 guys. If one guy gets bounced, then a new guy will come in, keeping the triple threat true to form. And then when we're down to the last 3, whoever gets the final pinfall of the triple threat will get the win here. Not sure what they're winning, but I guess it really doesn't matter. This is going to be absolutely amazing. So, Ryan Joy, we will start with you. Who do you have in the triple threat revolver?
It's tough to pick, but I think Chris Bay. I think a lot of storylines revolved around him, and I think it'll be him.
All right. John Smith.
Is this at the pay-per-view or is this tonight?
This is at the pay-per-view. Apparently tonight, as John Takahashi mentioned in pre-show, there's 8 men in this Revolver match, and they're going to be split up into a 4-on-4 bleep show tonight on Impact.
I'll go with Willie Mack, even though it's for points. He's been getting crapped on lately, so I think he deserves a win.
He had the big I quit one over Moose. I don't know who called that one. Who would ever call Willie Mack over Moose?
That was not a win. I mean, on the record books, it's a win, but that was not a win.
Tyler, who do you got?
Give me Ace Austin.
Ace Austin, all right, X-Cup winner. All right, he's big in these matches. And he's got Madman Fulton at ringside. John Takahashi.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ace Austin as well. Impact seems to they seem to like gambling and card references. So, Larry D's finisher is known as the best hand in the house. They've got this whole gimmick going on with this man running a little off-brand casino. And this is 2021. Ace Austin, part of his gimmick is having a card up his sleeve. I think this is the year of Ace Austin. He's already got the X Cup. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the winner of this Revolver gets an X Division title shot.
Okay.
So I'm picking him. I'm picking him because I believe he will take the X Division title at some point in time this year. And I believe he'll have a Triple Crown year. I think him and Fulton will grab the tag titles eventually, and I think by the end of the year we'll even see him in the world title picture.
Okay. I like Ace Austin going to be there at the end. I don't think that he's actually going to be the one that's pinned at the end because they said when the last 3 are in it, it's a 1-fall contest. It's not both guys have to be eliminated. So I feel like maybe he would be the guy that gets the odd man out who's actually not eliminated in this Revolver match. I'm going to go Josh Alexander here. I feel like Josh Alexander might be Impact's version of Big E.
Yeah.
I think it's a similar, he's a rough, tough guy. He just lost his tag team partner. And you know what? I don't know if he can wrestle with X style, but it's not about weight limits. It's about no limits, man. So I'm going to go with Josh Alexander on this one, pinning Trey at the end. I got Josh Alexander, Trey, and Ace Austin as the final 3 in that match. In another match that we're going to hypothetically assume will be booked tonight, it is not official yet. Last week, Jordan Grace defeated Susan with the Jordan Driver. Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly post-match attack was thwarted by a returning ODB. I believe I can't say what those initials mean on air. It's 130 with bleep at the end for B. 130 bleep. There you go. Hands with a B, right? There you go. Tonight, ODB is going to be fighting Kimber, but I'm assuming there's going to be a 6-woman tag team match with Deonna Purrazzo, Kimberly, and Susan on one side going against Jordan Grace, Jazz, and ODB on the other. So, Tyler, Adelle, I do believe you had a poster of ODB way back in the day in your room.
If I did, it's news to me.
Yeah.
I'll take Purrazzo, Lee, and Susan for this one.
All right. Ryan Joy.
I'm going to pick ODB and friends. I think eventually that Susan character's got to turn on her friends there.
Yeah, it's not going to be good when that happens. I'm not looking forward to that. Plus, as they haven't really repaid Father James Mitchell for doing this yet, so that's still looming over. It's probably going to be something circled back to the wedding or Wrestle House or something. John Smith, who do you got?
ODB.
John Takahashi, will she come out with a flask? Did she have a flask last week? I don't remember, but she always has her flask on her.
She's got a food truck, so she's more likely to come out with a rack of ribs or a shish kebab or something. Give me Jordan and Jazz.
All right, I'm actually going to be going, like I said, this is the title's not on the line. Deonna doesn't have to be pinned to take the loss here. This is, all right, write this down, boys. I'm actually going to be betting against Deonna Purrazzo. I think Kimber's going to take the loss here from ODB. And as we mentioned before, when the Knockouts Tag Team Championships, when they were reinstated, the last tag team that had them, the 436-day reign of ODB and Eric Young. What the titles were thinking. Absolutely incredible. I love the show more and more. Anyway, so last week we had a big little surprise, a little big surprise. I'm not making any sense here. It actually was a big surprise because Mahali Shira, he is a big guy, and he is in Rohit Raju's corner. Rohit got the win over TJP last week in the non-title match. So he put one over on Scott D'Amore. They were all laughing, having fun, making, we tricked them. It's going to be a non-title match. Rohit Raju is not screwing around anymore. He got that win. It's going to be for the X Division Championship. I'm going to go first on this one. I have Rohit Raju all day long right now. Brian Joy, who do you got?
Rohit Raju, but not all day long, probably around 8:30.
There you go. John DeConnie.
Give me Rohit. I like the way it sets up for down the line Ace and Fulton versus Rohit and Shira, as they circle around each other, tag matches, singles matches, down the line.
All right, John Smith.
I'm going with TJP on this one.
All right, any reason why?
Rohit had the title already. TJP's not ready to give it up. I think he's only had it as TJP for a few weeks now. So,
all right, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm going to go TJP. I think it's a little too early to pull that off of him right now.
Okay. Also, before we get to the next match, I saw this comment. I couldn't find the right time to do it. Now's the time. Good break. Actually, our friend James Wheeler, who's said he's a long-time listener. He actually turned 15 last Saturday. Happy birthday, James. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you have a good weekend coming up. Something nice planned for your girlfriend on Valentine's Day. If not, I got something possibly for you at the end of the show. Make sure you stay tuned. So we're actually going to have the interpromotional tag team championship match. Before we get to that, I'm really loving the Good Brothers. The beat up John Cena, but they're doing beat up John Moxley. I like how they transition that. Very well done on their part. As we found out a couple of weeks ago, it will be Private Party. They won the #1 contenders match against James Storm and Chris Sabin. So they're going to get the shot at the pay-per-view at the Impact Plus show. The Good Brothers have to defend them tonight. They got Sabin and Storm tonight as well. So if they win, the winner of that match, they will get Private Party on Saturday. So I guess, John DeConnie, pick me a winner tonight and then on Saturday.
Oh, I got the Good Brothers retaining in both spots. Obviously you can't be shocked if Sabin and Storm win, but for storyline purposes, it just wouldn't make sense. So they get through it tonight, and then I think they definitely get past Private Party on Saturday.
All right, Tyler Adelle, 6-point match here.
Yeah, I'm calling the same way. I'm going to have them retaining tonight and retaining on Saturday.
All right, Ryan.
Nothing to add.
All right,
Same.
John.
I like the idea of Sabin and Storm winning the titles just so Private Party could take it off of them on Sunday, but I'm not going to pick that. I'm going with Good Brothers all the way.
You know what? That would be a very Impact move. I could totally see Impact just pulling that out of left field and then having the Good Brothers win them back next week on Dynamite from Private Party. I could see just like a random circle just so Private Party can say they won a tag team championship somewhere. And then in the main event, it would be Tommy Dreamer's 50th birthday. That is why Rich Swann wanted to give him this match. And to be honest with you, last Tuesday, Rich Swann was getting a little patronizing in his conversation with Dreamer before their tag team match. They ended up losing that tag team match to Moose and Chris Bay. Dreamer dodged the lights out spear, and then Moose connected with Swann, who was the actual legal man. So Moose, they might be involved in this here, but it's actually going to be Rich Swann defending the Impact Heavyweight Championship of the World against Tommy Dreamer, who will be celebrating his 50th birthday. I tell you what, if I look like Tommy Dreamer when I'm 50, I'll consider that lucky. So
You're only 9 years away.
yeah, I know. 8.5. Ryan Joy, who do you got?
Man, I wish there was a scenario where I could see Tommy Dreamer winning his Tommy Dreamer Memorial 50th anniversary title shot, but I just don't see it. So I'm going to pick Rich Swann.
Yeah, John DeConnie, Rich Swann. Rich Swann actually brought up when he was patronizing and talking down to Tommy because of his age. Tommy did this for Terry Funk way back when.
Yep, he gave up his number one contendership to Terry Funk in the triple threat for the first ever ECW pay-per-view, which Terry Funk would go on to win the world title during. So, man, I would love to see, just like Ryan said, I would really love to see it, but I just don't think it makes sense with the story that they're going to tell further down the line with Moose and Swan and Willie and whatnot. So I'm not even 100% sure that this is going to be just a one-on-one match by the time we get to Saturday. I think something wacky could happen tonight, but assuming it stands pat, give me Swan.
All right. And of course, yeah, Pat could be in it too. Tyler.
I'll take Rich Swann.
Yep, I'm going to go with Rich Swann too. John Smith, did we get to you? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No, I like Tommy Dreamer in this one, actually. I'm taking Tommy.
All right. I like your style. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Tommy won it, because then it'll be easier for Moose to take it off him, and then
It's Impact.
Yeah, it's Impact. Impact's going to impact. So that will be it for No Surrender. They own the night tonight. Make sure you check the Go Home episode of Impact tonight on Access or on Twitch, and then make sure you get to ProWrestlingPick'em.com and either create a pool with your friends or join us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast pool and make your picks for No Surrender. But it's a double show weekend. NXT has their show St. Valentine's Day, Vengeance Day, St. Vengeance Day, right? Something like that.
How did they not call it St. Valentine's Day Massacre?
Yeah, they're the good old days, right? When Vince McMahon and Stone Cold in a steel cage, and that's when we saw Big Show for the first time. But they went with Vengeance Day. And before we get to Vengeance Day, a couple things from last Wednesday. First things first, the cruise. That's the closing. No, where did it go? The Cruiserweight Championship was on the line. And a lot of people, just like myself, that was seeing Kurt Stallion for the very first time. So I did a little bit of research on that, and I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but Kurt Stallion was actually an actor way back in the 90s. He actually had a brief appearance. He was on one episode of Saved by the Bell where he came in as Mr. Belding's younger, cooler hip brother, Rod Belding. Zach fell in love with him. Everybody fell in love with him. I believe Rod Belding wanted to take them whitewater rafting for their class trip. He ended up no-showing. He was telling his brother, Mr. Belding, that apparently there was a stewardess, they were called stewardesses back then, in town. Her name was Inga, and she was a 10. So Rod, he no-showed. But yeah, so Rod Belding, who knew that Kurt Stallion was Rod Belding? I didn't. But anyway, I digress. Santos Escobar got the win. Fun part of the show, though, John Smith. I know we didn't talk about you talking about this match in pre-production, but it's looking more and more. Scarlett was watching the match. Cross appeared at the end. Yeah, you're excited. I can see the Bob Costas meme right now. Yeah, you're excited. So go for it.
My nipples are getting hard, man.
Yeah.
Dude, Scarlett watching that match from afar, and Santos just looking at her, and Santos not backing down when Cross came out. I just love every aspect of this, man. I can't wait till they lock up.
Yeah, Cross gave him the gift of time to decide when he's going to kick his ass. Also, last Wednesday, Austin Theory defeated Leon Ruff after an ATL. And then he got almost trapped by Loomis. Loomis actually took a chunk of his hair out, so that's fun, right? Then there was the story of Tian Sha. Apparently, he was sold her soul to a dragon to overthrow her king brother, who decided their family name. Yeah, it was pretty wild. So apparently, this woman, not as old as Luchasaurus, but she's pretty old, and she's been the one that's been directing Xia Li and Boa. So to be continuing to that, that should be fun. And then John Smith, you and I, we've been waiting for this. Next week, was it? Yeah, I gotta put the grab. To the moon, Cameron Grimes. He is back from his injury. He will be in action next week. We have some Dusty Cup matches here. We're going to go over them right now. So we will pull this down and we will go through this. Going into tomorrow night and then eventually into NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day, we're going to talk about the Women's Dusty Cup bracket first. So what we know right now is half of the match this Sunday. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, they broke my heart. They defeated Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. So they are in. Tomorrow night on NXT, The Way, which will be represented by Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, they will take on Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. And the winner of that match will be in the finals with Dakota and Raquel. So tell me who you got tomorrow night. And then who do you have in the finals? Who do you have picking the finals for points? Before we do that, I forgot to go over the standings. John Smith, once again, wiping the floor with us on NXT, 31-9. Absolutely incredible. And then the scoring system, we got 5 points for the NXT title match, 3 points for all other title matches, 1 point for the non-title matches. Anything in a promotional, which it doesn't look like, will be doubled. And then there's a 5-point bonus. And I do believe the Dusty Rhodes finals are worth 4 points. Because we all love Dusty. So, who do you got in this one? John Smith. We'll give you the reins here. Leave the brackets up so you can follow along a little bit easier.
Yeah, well, I mean, I doubt we're going to get some heel-on-heel action in the finals, so you got to go with Shotzi and Ember Moon. Raquel Gonzalez has looked very dominant, but Dakota Kai has looked the complete opposite, so I think she takes the pin from either Moon or Blackheart. I don't care which one. I've been saying it since the beginning. Shotzi and Ember are taking this one down for as kind of like a consolation for not being involved in any other title picture.
All right, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm going to go Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon the entire way.
All right, Ryan.
I've been saying it since the beginning. Casey Catanzaro and Kate. Oh shoot.
That's not nice.
I guess I will pick the team that beat them to win the whole thing, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. But I agree, Shotzi and Ember tomorrow night.
All right, John DeConnie.
Yeah, I've got Shotzi and Ember tomorrow night to make it to the finals, and I've had Raquel and Dakota all along winning this, if for no other reason than to keep Raquel going, to remind us that, by the way, she pinned the champion in the cage.
Yeah, I forgot to put here's the graphic up for tomorrow night. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm with Shotzi and Ember on this one. Very, very remnant of Samoa Joe and Finn Balor winning the first ever Dusty Cup on the men's side way back when. So I'm gonna go with Shotzi and Ember to win tomorrow night, and then beat Raquel and Dakota on Saturday. And I agree with you, John Smith. I feel like Dakota is going to be the one that's going to be taking the pinfall on that one. So on the men's side, we're going to have to do the same thing, but we're going to have 2 matches to pick. Well, I'll take the brackets down for a second. We got Grizzled Young Veterans going against Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa, who had a very impressive victory last week over the Undisputed Era. That is one semifinal. The other one are the crutches that Trey Miguel was talking about. Wesley and Nash Carter. Again, that's Nash Carter, not Ben Carter, not Caden Carter, not Gary Carter. Nash Carter. There's another Carter in there. There's another Carter in there.
Oliver Carter.
Anyway, going against Legado del Fantasma. So the winners of those tomorrow night, they will get at it for the Dusty Cup on Sunday night. So again, I'll leave the brackets up here. We'll get the logo off the top so you guys can see. Oh, you can see MSK, right? We're good? We're good. All right, so John Smith, who do you like on this one?
I mean, Thatcher and Ciampa looked unstoppable last week, but I gotta go with the guys I've been sticking with since the beginning, with the grizzled young veterans to win tomorrow. MSK, I see beating Joaquin Wilde and Mendoza, Legato. And then in the finals on Sunday, your soon to be recognized Dusty Cup champions, the grizzled young veterans.
Absolutely love it. Tyler.
Give me the grizzled young veterans with MSK in the finals, and give me the grizzled young veterans finishing it off.
All right, and John Takahashi, just for you, like you, and for everybody else here, we just got to make sure that, if our picks are wrong going into Sunday, something happens, it's the championship match. That's the one that's going to be the point. So even if you have grizzled young veterans, and it happens to be Thatcher and Ciampa, then you change your pick to Thatcher and Ciampa for the final. You're still going to get the points for it. So, but this is a little tough to pick.
Yeah, the minute it became Thatcher and Ciampa, I started thinking about that first Dusty Cup, how the thrown together team wound up winning. But I've been saying it from the beginning, not that I know a lot about them, but it just felt like this was the grizzled young veterans tournament to lose. So give me them going forward to the finals to meet up with MSK after beating Legato, and give me GYV winning it all.
All right, Ryan, I think a lot of people on grizzled young veterans here.
Yeah, so I definitely have Misk going to the finals. And then I am going to pick Thatcher and Ciampa to win over GYV. I had been saying GYV from the beginning, but that Thatcher Ciampa team wasn't there in the beginning. I like them now. I think that they actually remind me more of, kind of the Riddle Dunn situation with being thrown together. So I'm going to pick them to actually win the whole thing.
Ryan, I'm with you as well. I got I got turned last week when they're matching against the Undisputed Era. I'm like, you know what? These guys are going to win it. These guys are going to win this match now, and they're going to win the whole thing. So I'm actually looking extremely forward to their match with Grizzled Young Veterans tonight. I'm a huge GYV fan. I have been for a long time. My shoes are off to prove it. There we go. But
do you think they called an audible?
What's that?
Do you think they called an audible? Do you think that Ciampa and Thatcher were there always the plan, or do you think they called an audible?
I have absolutely no idea. They weren't originally in it, but maybe that was on purpose. I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, I had them beating MSK in the finals. I think we're all in agreement MSK is going to beat Legato. So it'd be a nice little showing, Ciampa and Thatcher versus MSK. I think it'd be a nice little showing for Des and Wentz to get over here. That'd be pretty good. Elise Ashton jumped from SmackDown to NXT for the night. She was known as Not Mackenzie to Johnny Gargano, who mentioned the K-word, almost got her fired, dragged her to Regal's office. Kushida was there, and the North American Championship match was made. Ryan Joy, are you going to give Kushida a shot here?
God, I don't know. I'm going to. He's a New Japan guy. He's been just kind of knocking on the door for a long, long time. Johnny's never really that long for a title. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pick Kushida.
All right. John Takahashi, I have the records right here. Oh, I just lost them. There we go. So, Kushida is 1-0 in TakeOver history. He had a win over the Velveteen Dream back at NXT TakeOver 31. Johnny Gargano has the most losses in TakeOver history at 5-15, but he won his last match. He won the triple threat, right, against Ruff and Priest. I forget who his last match was against, but 5-15 overall. He's 4-11 in singles actions, and he's 4-10 in championship matches. So he's the league leader in all of those categories in the L department.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think he gets another one here. I don't think there's any reason to put off putting the belt on Kushida, because it's always fun and easy to write the story of Johnny losing. So give me Kushida in this one.
All right, Tyler.
Yeah, pretty much everything John Takahashi said. Hit the nail on the head there. It's it's time to give Kushida his run.
All right, John Smith, don't do me dirty again right here. I'm going to go Gargano. John Smith, who do you got?
Oh, it's Kushida, buddy. This is the road that the title's taking to get to the moon.
Oh, Kushida, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Kushida's gonna win this one. Johnny doesn't need to win. He's got the way. He's gonna be the most decorated North American champion of all time, because anybody else that's around long enough to have it 3 times is getting called up to the main roster. So he's now in the books forever as the most title reigns with that title. He might even get another one in a year or so. And Kushida's gonna take it from him.
Okay, so I'm going to go the other way. This isn't the road to Cameron Grimes. I think this is the road to Dexter Lumis, and that's why he keeps it. Because you got Lumis screwing around, he's going to beat up Austin Theory real quick and then go right for Gargano. So I'm going to go Johnny Gargano on this one. That'll put him on a little bit of a winning streak in the takeover department. So last Wednesday, Tony Storm and Jesse Kamea turned into a brawl between Tony with Mercedes Martinez and then Io Shirai, and that was the women's championship triple threat match that we are having right now. Io Shirai is 4-4 overall at TakeOver, 4-2 in singles action. Her 2 losses came in War Games, I believe. She's 3-2 in championship matches. So Tony Storm is 1-0. Her win at War Games last month or a couple months ago, and this is the TakeOver debut for Mercedes Martinez. So, Tyler, we'll stick with you first. I haven't gone with you first in a while.
I'm going to go Tony Storm.
Ooh. Tony Storm. Tony Storm. Da, 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 da. John DeConnie.
I have no feel for this match whatsoever. I'm going to say Io retains.
All right, James going to go Io as well because she has overcome every obstacle whenever her title is on the line. That is 100% correct. She's undefeated as champion with her title on the line, John Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of Tony Storm winning the title, but I still got Io winning it. I think it's going to Raquel Gonzalez next, the way I see it breaking down. So Io's going to win this one.
I'm with you, John Smith. Ryan.
I think it's Tony time.
All right.
Put that belt on her.
Yeah, I'm not going to be mad at all if Tony wins. I'm sorry, I got a brain fire real quick. Did we get everybody? John,
Yeah, no issues with having more Tony on my TV.
Yep.
Love her.
Yeah, you get no argument from me if Tony takes it.
All right, so that'll bring us to the main event, right? Everybody got their picking on that one. I just had a little bit of a brain fart.
Yes.
All right, so main event time. So Balor gave Pete Dunne his title shot. The face-off is interrupted by Edge. He was watching NXT that brought the passion back to him. They worry about the second W and not the E like Raw and SmackDown does. Nice little jab there by Edge. I don't know if that was written by Hunter or not or whatever. But so he might challenge for the NXT Championship at WrestleMania. The title's on his radar. Karrion Kross had some words from Edge before he left, saying you're probably going to be fighting me and not one of those 2 jabronis. He didn't use that word. I don't know why I thought of it now. But we're going to get Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne. Oh, really? Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne for the NXT Championship. Both are 2-0 this year. Finn Balor is the all-time record holder with 13 wins and 1 loss at TakeOver. He is tied right now with 10 wins in singles competition. He is tied with Asuka. If he wins, he will have the new record. He's 4-1 in title matches. Pete Dunne is 4-4 at TakeOver, 2-2 in singles matches, 2-3 in championship matches. So who have John DeConnie? Have we started? We probably start with you all the time. Who do you got on this one?
Yeah, I think the winner of this match is us, the viewer, but give me Finn Balor retaining.
All right, Tyler. Gary went with, I don't know if you heard this segment. Gary's going with Pete Dunne. This is his neck of the woods. This is his part of the Atlantic Ocean. These are his guys. He's going with Pete Dunne.
Yeah, so the match was a little hard to pick for me at first until I realized there's really no shot that Edge is going to challenge for the NXT title. But that being said, I'm going to go with Gary here and say Pete Dunne's going to take this title.
All right. Pat McAfee involvement?
I don't think so.
All right. John Smith.
That'd be nice. Pete Dunne deserves it, but I think Balor takes it. I mean, Pat McAfee, I think, will get involved in some way. We haven't seen him in a while, but Balor and Cross has been the crash course that I've been looking at for a while now. So that's the way I see it going.
All right, Ryan.
Yeah, I think the main program, like John's saying, is Balor and Karrion Kross. And so I don't think they're going to flip it over to Pete Dunne to, for a short title reign, because I do think it's going back to Kross pretty quick.
All right, yeah. I'm going to go to Finn Balor as well. The guy he's lost once. Take over history. It's going to be a spectacle if he ever loses, and I don't think it's just going to be now. I think Karrion Kross will be that spectacle. I will agree with that. So that will do it for NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. Travis, possibly the Demon. I think the Demon is retired for the time being. He's on semi-retirement.
I was just going to say that, actually, for the Cross match. I was going to say that, actually. Like, Cross is gonna do some real crappy things to Balor over the next few months, and he's gonna unleash the Demon, I think. But he's gonna beat the Demon.
All right, so it was brought to my attention. I know I said at the top of the show that Ryan, we were gonna do number 8 on my all-time favorite WrestleManias list, match list. Apparently, Ryan chimed in. We did not get to one last week. So I'll rewind right now. I'll go back to number 9 because Ryan, it's okay. It's fine. That's why we have the extra weeks. Right now, we're almost back on track here with back to WrestleMania. But so we're at number 9 on my list. And as one of the participants said in the pre-match interview before this match happened, nobody remembers Act 1. Nobody remembers Act 2. What you remember is Act 3, the grand finale, the climax, the one where Rocky went Hollywood, came back as a complete D-hole, and he got the one thing that he was never able to do, and that is beat Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. And in another twist, not that we knew it at the time, this was Stone Cold Steve Austin's last match in WWE. He has not wrestled since. So this was 2003, if I remember correctly. So we're coming up on 20 years without seeing the Rattlesnake in the ring wrestling. If you ever want to watch something that was pretty crazy, he was hospitalized, Steve Austin, the night before. I think he got to the arena maybe an hour before his match. The famous line when Austin was walking down the aisle from JR, the toughest son of a bitch in the history of the world, or whatever the line was. It was 100% true. He came right from the ambulance. It was called The Mania of WrestleMania. I believe anybody who has the WrestleMania 20 DVD, it is a bonus feature in that DVD box set. Rocky got the win. They rock bottomed each other. They Stone Cold stunned each other. And it was just, you can just see it was the nail in the coffin for Austin because Rocky he just crushed him with that last one and put the final nail in the coffin for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Absolutely phenomenal match. My favorite one of the three of them. I loved Hollywood Rock. He had the slow, methodical music. This one with the helicopter chopper in the beginning. So Rocky did it all at that point. And the next time on Raw, he got speared by Goldberg. Anyway, on to the giveaway. If you'd like to win this autographed picture of Jim the Anvil Neidhart, courtesy of Sideline Sports and Memorabilia, all you have to do is go to this video on YouTube, and there should be a link attached to this video if you were watching on Facebook. Hit the subscribe button, RKO that notification bell, and make a comment on this video with the hashtag EWPAnvil. We will be announcing the winner at 200 subscribers. We are so close to that number. Please make sure you stay tuned when we are announcing the winner. Every Friday, the Primetime Rundown, powered by StreamYard and powered also by the Eastern Observer, with Jerry Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, Rob DeLuca, and sometimes the Sheriff pops in on that. Tyler, you pop in there every once in a while. Airs at 6 p.m. on Friday nights as they take you through the world of sports right here on all the Eastern Observer platforms. For more information, please go to theeasternobserver.com. Tune into the Daily Wrestling News Show Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. to get your morning cup of joy with Ryan and his band of merry co-hosts right here on all of the Eastern Observer platforms. The Body Slam Brigade is an article that Ryan writes as well. It's usually a great toilet read for your Friday afternoon. It comes out at noon every Friday via email. Please go to minutestobelltime.com and subscribe to the Body Slam Brigade newsletter. Free Cake by the Black Cats NYC. It launched their second album back in November. It is available now on all of these music outlets that you see right in front of you. Right here, YouTube Music, Deezer, Apple Music, everything. If you want Free Cake, please go there now and download Free Cake by the Black Cats NYC. And then we got a fun little new sponsor here. This one's for the ladies. All right, if you're upset with the whole process of putting on your eyelashes, let me tell you about these new magnetic lashes that my wife is now selling. Ooh, I don't want to take the ticker down. Oh, now I'm just... There we go. That my wife is now proudly selling. Take a look at this picture of her. This is her profile picture on Facebook. You can see how well those lashes look. She gave me a couple other ones to show here real quick. As you can see, they look just like actual eyelashes, but they put on the magnetic eyeliner, which is the picture on the left. And then there's 10 tiny little magnets in the actual lash that you see. It's very easy. It just clicks right on the right. It makes the process so simple and hassle-free. Please contact my wife, Stephanie, on Facebook via direct message, or you can contact PW Pick'em on Twitter, and we will make sure we take care of you and getting these Tori Bell products. And guys, just remember, this is what she wants for Valentine's Day on Sunday. And ladies, he'll like them too.
He'll like it too.
Okay, make sure you. Oh, let me get that banner now. Make sure you go to ProWrestlingPick'em.com. That is there we go. That is the website where we make our picks. Please make sure you join up. You can join us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast pool, or you can create a pool. A private pool with just you and your friends. Prove that you're the best. You can play against your friends, and you can play against the universe. We were back right here next week, episode 41 of the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Once again, we'll be here at 6 p.m. Brian, Tyler, Gary, John, and John, they will all be here with me, and we always like to have a lot of fun. We thank you very much for watching today. Before we cut down to the end, as I mentioned before, great news in the world of wrestling. Sarah Logan and Eric Ray Rowe, whatever you want to call them, from the Viking Raiders War Machine, they had their bouncing baby boy today. So it is confirmed. It is a boy, and it is now also confirmed that at WrestleMania 61, it'll be Carver Kanellis versus Raymond Castro, a part of that amazing card of NXT WrestleMania 61. Tyler, anything I missed before we get out of here?
Yeah, what time do I got to be at work Friday?
8 a.m., pal. Me and you, swiping ads.
Let's do it.
Hockey Fights Cancer. Tyler and I, we're making some purple for Hockey Fights Cancer. Ryan Joy for John DeConnie, for John Smith, our Sheriff Tyler Adelle, thank you so much for joining us today. Alexa Bliss, we love you. Tegan Knox, it's got to be getting soon. I am getting anxious for her return. Training with Captain Marvel. I can't wait to see her back. John DeConnie, take it home.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl rings.
I'm out.
Unbelievable.
On.
Tom Brady.